Good morning. Thank you for joining our March 2024 CAD training session on data shortcuts and Earthworks. I apologize. We had some technical difficulties here at the beginning, but we'll make it up as I go along. All right. So data shortcuts. Something a little bit newer. I have created a document that is you should be receiving an email with a link to it in the Google Drive. Uh, Data shortcuts are a feature of Civil 3D that allows us to share the documents or different data with each other while we are working together on the project. It's definitely a different way of working than what we're used to doing. Um, in the past, we've always been kind of single drawing, single person, single project. That just isn't possible these days with different requirements for stormwater, for survey, for design. We need to be having all of our team members working together at the same time to get the project done and on time and keep things consistent throughout our drawings. So I have a Google Doc. I think some of you are actually looking at it now, kind of going down through the benefits, what a data shortcut is, how it can be helpful, and how to set it up with our system currently. I will also have some other, let me see if I can pull that up. There's some other white papers that are located on the Google Drive, and um, they are much more involved and confusing. It took me a long time to kind of understand what was going on with those. And let me see if I can pull those up right now here. Okay, so the first one comes from a consultant, Ascent. Can everybody see that? I hope. Let me see. Unfortunately, I can't see it, so all right. Nope, that's not it either. Here we go. Okay, so hopefully everyone can see that. I can see it should be showing up now. This is the simplified version. This is showing how the different objects in Civil 3D can um, be shared. So we have a level one, which includes the surfaces. Now these are all actual objects. Surface, alignments, profiles, pipe networks, corridors. Those are all data references. They can live in different drawings, but they have a single database essentially that can be shared out and accessed by multiple people at the same time. The next level is level two, which is the actual DWGs that we're doing most of our work in. Those are the base drawings, the survey drawings, the stormwater drawings, whatever, and even some of the other things that each team member can be working on simultaneously. And then we take those level two drawings and we bring that information back into our plot sheets with external references and data references. One other thing that you can do with data references, in addition to what a normal XREF does, is that it allows you to change the way that that information is viewed on your plan. So let's say we have a plan that is 100 scale. We want to see maybe 2s and 10 contours on that. Or we might have detailed plans that show 20 scale, and we want 1s and 5 contours on those. Now, if we're doing XREFs in the past, we would have to have different layers for each one of those contours so that we could manipulate that by layer. With data references, you can actually just change the style of the surface to represent what you want per sheet. So it's a little bit different thinking of it. It can get very complicated. Like I said, this is the simplified version of the system. And then we also have received, during our last CAD training, we received this. It gets much more complicated. It is a 3 pages. Again, you'll see it has a level 1. Those are essentially all data, and where we would be storing our data in a drawing and sharing it out. So you can see they have basically drawings for each type of data that can be shared. Then you have your different drawings, which bring that information in together. And then the level 3 is more of your plot sheets and such, bringing all that information together, either via XREF, or, well, in this case it shows all XREFs, but you could also possibly do data references. So this system can get very confusing very quickly. So we may not be here at this point to this type of level of discussion, but we're at a good place to start testing it out, seeing how it works, and going from there. So I hope that I'll be able to show you a little bit of how to set up a data reference using our base. Really, right now, I think our basic things that we will be sharing with data references with surfaces, both existing and proposed, storm networks, and possibly alignments slash, alignments. So that with those those 3 main things, we can usually probably share most of the information with our team and be consistent and continue to work together with everything. So let me get back to my document. All right. So I'm just going to be walking right down through the Google Drive data shortcut training session. So if you have that open, you can follow along. You're welcome to also open it up in CAD. And if you have any questions, ping me. I'm getting some of them, but I'm not quite sure if all of them are popping through. So currently, I'm going to go to our survey drawing. You can see we have some contours in here. This is I just basically imported an XML file so I can have a quick surface created. And this surface is called the existing final. So right now in tool space, we want to scroll all the way down to the bottom. Down here it says data shortcuts. When you open a new drawing that's not associated with any kind of data shortcuts, this will be blank, just like this. And this is what we're going to be looking for. So if we follow the instructions, it's pretty straightforward. A lot of the stuff is already set up whenever the project is created. So a lot of the behind the scene things are done that is in this write-up. And so let's go right ahead and we'll select on data shortcuts. We can right click on it and we need to set the working folder. Now our projects are set up so that the survey data folder or working folder and the data shortcut working folder are located in the same place. It doesn't have to be that way, but since they are both called working folder, we decided to keep them together to make it a little bit simpler. So I just opened up, right clicked on my data shortcut, create or set working folder. You'll see it went to my, because I was already in this drawing, it already went to my design folder, and there's my working folder. So let's say, here's my project 5555, just a dummy project that I created using the same system that Sandy creates all of our projects with. Inside of the design, you'll find that there's a project number working folder. That is what we're looking for. Inside of there, there's our survey database with the project number and a folder called data shortcuts. To set the data shortcuts or the setting, to set the working folder, you just need to be right there. Now, if you look real careful inside the data shortcuts, there's all these are automated. These are all the different folders or types of information that you can share with data shortcuts. Normally, though, you don't need to go into here. Once you get to your working folder, that's as far as you need to go with CAD. CAD will put everything else in its proper folder underneath there. So I'm going to hit my working folder, hit select folder. Now off to the side here, you can now see that data shortcuts S CAD underscore. It goes the whole way out to that folder that I just assigned. And you'll even notice you got some things down here, but since there's no data shortcuts currently in here, everything is pretty much blank. So now that we've set our working folder, we can now start to create our actual data shortcuts of objects from our project or from our current CAD drawing. So in this case, I just have an existing surface. What we want to do is select right click once again on the data shortcut folder. We create data shortcuts. Now it goes through and pops up this window and shows everything that can be shared out as a data shortcut that's included in this drawing file. So in this case, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different surfaces, but we only want to share out the existing surface. So we go ahead and check that, and we hit OK. Now, if you look down here, now we have a little expansion here. We can expand our surfaces, and it shows existing final. If I scroll all the way back up to the top to our current survey drawing, you'll also notice that existing final is there now. Okay, so I'm going to just save that. Okay, and then I will go to my MD. Now in my MD, I can scroll back down here. There is my working folder. Always double check and make sure that is the correct working folder before you do any kind of importing of information into it. In this case, it's all set. It's good. I can go down to expand my surfaces. Now it shows that my existing final is in there. If I right click on that, I can say create reference. What that will do is come up here. It gives me all the different information. You can make sure it's all pointing to the right place. In this case, it's looking at the wrong layer, which is an easy fix. We can just go up here and change it. You can also change how you want it to come in. So let's say, hey, we'll assign actually, we'll go with the 1s and 5s existing conditions first. Nope, not proposed, existing. So once that is brought in, I'll zoom extents, pan on down, and now I have the same exact surface in the MD that was actually built in the survey drawing. If I click on it, highlights, it shows it as existing final at the top, but see how it says data reference in this case, not surface. So essentially, it brings it in. I cannot modify it. It's locked into place. I can make changes if I went into the survey drawing and did that, but in this drawing, it's locked. And you'll notice that it has a little bit of a different glyph right here. It has a little arrow. That means that it's a data shortcut. But I can still go in here. I can, can't do much with it. It shows me different things there. But if I zoom into here, I am still getting the information that's needed for designing to things. So there it shows me the elevation at that point is correct. And you can go through, you can add labels to these. You can design to those contours or to that surface. We can change the style of it. It allows us to do multiple different things, but keeps it locked and secure. So let's say we go to 1s and 5s or existing surface slope analysis. And there we go. All that it's doing is changing the way that the surface is being represented graphically. So there's a combination of our contours plus our slopes, which is the default settings are not the best. All that can be changed within the analysis. section. We'll do that at another time. We'll get there. All right. So that kind of shows you, yes, the data is there. It can't be changed from within a data reference. You have to go and actually make any changes in the original drawing that it was created in. But you can still manipulate the way that it's graphically displayed in your plan. All right, so now we have an existing surface here in our MD. We can do, like I said, we can do grading objects to it. We can do profiles from it. It will all, just like it's in the drawing, except for we cannot edit it. Okay, so same concept. I just opened up the stormwater MD or the stormwater drawing. Same kind of thing. The team there, we can go down here and make the appropriate reference. It will bring it in. We make the changes to what we want to see, how it wants to be represented in this file. So once again, we have the exact same surface. It's not XREF, it's an actual surface in your drawing. You can take information from it. You can find the elevation, all that stuff. So this will be very important. So for the stormwater, they may be data referencing the existing surface and a proposed surface. I was really hoping to have a proposed surface created already. Let me do something real quick here. Let me see, do I have a surface? I have a proposed surface here, so that's good. What I can do is, in this case, I can go down to the bottom. I would right click on that and I would say create data shortcuts. And in this case, it shows me the surfaces that are in my MD drawing. I would go and I would select the proposed and say, okay, even though there's nothing defined in that surface yet, we can define that, or we can add that to the data shortcut. You can see there's nothing there yet. So let's, I'll draw in a couple feature lines here real quick. Keep it that way. Oh, actually, yeah, we'll keep everything good there. And, well, I'll put 0 there. That's fine. Okay, so we got a really poor feature line going around with no elevations. We can always select that and do an elevation editor. You probably won't be able to see this. All I'm doing is I'm going to just bring it up to the existing surface. Actually, I'm going to bring it up to the existing final. Okay, so now I have a surface or a feature line that has the exact same elevations as the existing final. I pulled all those points through. It made all the extra nodes. It has a ton of nodes. And but down at the bottom, you can see that that node right there is at elevation 1293.73, which is pulled directly from the existing surface or existing final surface that we data shortcut into this drawing. Now I can take that, I can do it. Let's just do a stepped offset of 10 feet inside, and we'll say the difference is 10 feet. That would be 3 foot difference. Okay, so we're pretty far scaled out here. We could then, you know, if we wanted to say, oh, let's put a basin right here for some odd reason right on top of the hill, we could do that. So there's our 3 foot up. Let's say we offset again. We can say 10 feet, and we'll say inside 0 for the elevation difference. And then we could take this again and offset that. Actually, if we do a grading object, can get this all set up here pretty quick. Proposed grading. We're just going to keep that there. Oh, and we have a crash. And this is why I was running a little late this morning. All right. We should be able to get back into this pretty quickly. Any questions so far? I know I haven't shown a whole bunch, but essentially what we want to do is be able to have multiple team members working on different projects, sharing that information with everyone on the team by using data shortcuts for surfaces, alignments, grading objects, corridors, and pipe networks. Essentially right now though, surfaces and pipe networks are our main focus to work on those because those are the ones that we could use the most. All right, let's see if I can get this back up and running. Okay, so don't have anything back in my MD. I'm going to set my working folder again. I'm already right there. I have my existing final. I can create a reference in that. So once again, you can see it didn't take me long to get that back, but unfortunately I still don't have a proposed surface. I wanted to get a proposed surface in there so that we could share a second surface. I guess we can do that again here real quick. We'll do a different way this time. What is this elevation? 95. So I'm just going to go through, assign an elevation on here. Excuse me. Let's see if I better save just in case. Like I said, my CAD has been a little wonky today. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but all right. So I'm just going to do a grading object to the outside of this entire length, 3:1. Okay, so you can see we got a little bit of a surface in there. Just for time's sake, I'm going to take that grading object and turn that into a feature line. Okay, so now at least I have something I can create a surface from. 2 feature lines, we'll add those to our proposed surface. And there's our contours for that surface. Now, since I had already created a data reference earlier, it's still right there. I'm going to save that and open up the stormwater. Okay, so it does have the correct working surface. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to create a reference for our existing final. I'm sure there's a way we could probably set this up that it doesn't go, it goes to the proper layers. We just haven't gotten that quite figured out. We'll get there. Okay, so right now we only have the existing in there. And there's our proposed. So now stormwater drawing has both existing and proposed in there. They could start working on laying out their stormwater pipes, getting that sized properly. So let's see, we'll do a quick save again, just be safe. I'll just throw a quick Pipeworks in here. Storm. Let's go off the existing final. All this stuff can be put into here. Whoops, not stamp. But the key is anything extra that you label and things like that in this drawing will not carry through with the data reference. So that's something to keep in mind. So let's say I put a flow arrow for sanity or for storm. Get in here and I say, okay, I need my type M inlet, 2x4. Surface existing final, or existing file, yep. There we go, okay. Pick our pipe, let's do a 24. And we're going downstream. So we can click that there. And let's put that somewhere around in there. Okay, so now we got two structures. Actually, we should have had this be a, you can see it labeled it because I just selected something there. Let's swap that out to be a null structure. I'm not seeing what I'm looking for. Structure properties, structure style, swap part. There we go. All right. So for now, well, I'll leave that one on there. I want to show that. Okay, so we now have this inlet. We can now change the structure properties to, currently it was looking at the existing final. So if we change that to now go to our proposed, I guess this one. Oops. Okay. Actually, I think we got an extra proposed surface in there because of the crash. So now we have a proposed. We have that going to this, going to our structure properties, goes to the existing, or no, I'm sorry, goes to the proposed. So our topic rate's 1295. Our pipe, let me see here. Let me bring that back over here. So we want to make that, 1290. That's probably good. Okay, and our end invert should be whatever our surface is, which are existing final. So we'll have to take a look and see if I can pull that up. So there we go. Okay, so now we have a pipe network in there. We can do a save. But in order for other people in the team to actually be able to view that, we need to create it as a data shortcut. So we go back over to our tool space, create data shortcut, and now you'll see here's the list of items that we can export or create data shortcuts as, but we also now have a pipe network. So I'm going to go in here and add that to the system. And essentially what we're going to end up doing is keep adding and adding and building on to the data that we have that we can share between people, and then everybody can choose which data they need to see. So if I go back to the MD drawing that the designer may be working on, we can now go down to here, expand the pipe networks. There's our network 5, and we create a reference. It goes through. See, we want to change that. And I think we'll leave everything else the same. Now notice when I brought that in, the labels did not come in with it. That is one thing I wish it would be able to do that. I haven't found a way to make it do that. Essentially, they don't carry those over because you may want different labels in different situations for different drawings. They're kind of AutoCAD's workflow kind of pushes you to labeling things in the actual final sheets. I don't really care to do that because then you have to label it multiple times and you may miss a label. I'd rather do it in like the MD or somewhere because you would still be XREFing this drawing into your sheets. So one nice thing about it is that anybody in the environmental department, they can label all their things a certain way if they need different information, while the design department can label it just with tags. Survey can do the same thing with existing. So now we have a drawing that is actually pulling data, existing surface data from the survey group department. It's sharing out the proposed data, and it's pulling in the storm network from environmental. We're all sharing it. People from each department could be in these drawings working on them. You will get little notifications if something has changed. So if I go back into the survey, or the stormwater drawing, and I say, okay, I'm going to move this pipe. Oops. I'm going to move this pipe over to here. If I do a save, great. Got that in here. Now, if I go back to the MD, it should pop up a little warning, data shortcut has changed, and you hit your synchronize. So it alerts everyone when things change, and there you go, everything moved. If it was labeled in here, it would have already been, it would also have moved. The label location probably wouldn't have, but the, let me see here, add a label. So there we got that. This only shows up in the MD, or if we XREF this MD into other sheets, that would show up. If we go back to here to the stormwater drawing, hey, something may have changed. We'll update that. And once again, this allows us to share our information between the different members of the project team. It could get confusing, but I think if we start at this basic level, a lot of us have already started using this a little bit. I think we'll see the benefits pretty quickly on how it will allow us to work together. So once again, I changed things. Hey, I got to synchronize it. When I synchronize it, you'll notice the pipe moved, but our label that we have in the MD by itself also moved. Okay. Is there any questions on those? I included on the end of the document the extended files from the other consultants on how they have things organized. So you can see those different layers that they look at doing, the level 1, 2, and 3s. And we have level 1, 2, and 3. It's just not going to be as complicated at this time. Let's see here. Okay. So that is what we have for data shortcuts. Now, since I'm in the MD already, I can do a quick little demonstration. The other topic for today was going to be Earthworks. This is going to be real quick. Pretty simple. We have two surfaces in this drawing. Our template already has a Earthworks surface. Now, unfortunately, since our existing final is the name, it will not. We'll have to create a new Earthworks. So it's as simple as doing a create a surface. We want where it says tin surface. This is where the main thing is. We want a tin volume surface. Without that being set, you will not get an Earthworks. So you go through, give it your name for your file or for your surface. Here, our style, we have a, let me see, where is it? Cut fill. We have that there. This is the most important area, the base surface. Once you set these, you cannot change them. But it's just as easy just to create a new surface if you mess up or you pick the wrong surface. We want the existing final, which is not actually created in this. This is just a data reference, but it's still listed. And our comparison, which is in this drawing, is proposed. So that we have that information. Once you put that in, like that, and you get this lovely green blob. Now that's the default Autodesk Earthworks style. So we need to change that information. Notice the tin surface, volume surface, has a different icon over here. You can look at the definition. There's not much there. You can change a boundary if you want to, but we just need to go into surface properties. We'll see that our style is correct, but the key is that our analysis is not. We have to go into an analysis tab, and this is the type that we're doing here. We're going to do elevations. We're going to have two ranges, so we need to select two, and we want to add them to the scheme down here. Now this is where you don't have to be real exact. What I typically like to do is the first number, the minimum elevation, I usually put like a -100. Oops. Also, it's kind of finicky when to get the numbers in the boxes, you kind of have to click once or twice. It's not always the same. So I usually do a -100 and a 0, and I change that color to be, let's see, 10. That's our cut area. And I'll go through and change this to be, and I use a range because all it's showing is the difference between the two surfaces. So it's not the actual elevations, it's the difference that is actually being shown. And then I usually pick, let's see, one of these colors right there. So now I got my red is cut, my green is fill. I hit OK, and everything turns basically to green because this is all fill. You can see just a little bit of cut right there, maybe a little cut right there, which that's not correct. Now what I could do is I could take the entire proposed surface, if I select it, and I, let me see, what's going to be the quickest way for me to do this. Edit sort of style, blah, blah, blah. You know what, I'll just do a regular move command, and I say, okay, let's say I move it negative, we'll do 5. So that's going to lower the entire surface down 5. We're going to see not much changed, which is kind of odd. Oh, I'm sorry. I know what. Undo that move. I should have just selected the, tried to select, let me see, send back. Where'd my upper feature line go? I guess it's somewhere right in here. No. There we go. Okay, so I can select that feature line. Let's just let's lower that a -3. it's still, so it's not showing what I really want it to do because, oh, I know why. Because I don't have it to rebuild automatic. So now you'll see that, hey, everything inside of this area here is fill. This is all cut. So let me actually, let's go back to there. Rebuild automatic. There we go. So same kind of thing. You'll see if this was a grading group, it would move up and down. You could adjust it. It would uh, change the coloring on the fly, and you would see the outside boundaries actually changing how far it would have to go in order to tie off to the existing surface. The other really good, nice thing about having a tin earthworks or tin volume surface is when you have that, you can now go up to your, let's see, where is it? I'm blanking on it now. You would go up to your surface. Let me see. Analyze button. There we go. And you can have your volumes dashboard. Let me pull that. Maybe I can pull it over. There we go. Volumes dashboard. Right now it's blank. We need to create, and we would take the, I just hit on the plus sign there. You hit your training earthworks and you say, okay. What this allows you to do, have multiple areas of earthwork calculations done. So you could have a surface for a basin, you could have a surface over here for a single family house. You could have all those as separate surfaces doing earthworks, and then it will bring up this chart and it will total everything. So in this case, we're looking at cut fill, our 2D area, our cut adjusted, our fill adjusted. So this is the amount of cut, this is the amount of fill, this is the adjusted. So right now we are requiring around 7,500 cubic yards of fill for this area, which seems legitimate since it's all fill, or we didn't do much cut. And it shows this little information here. Another nice thing is this little icon right here. You can hit a generate your cut fill, which creates a HTML file with everything listed out, all this stuff, and then you can actually print that as a PDF and save it. Or you can also, let's see, I think it's this one right here, insert your cut fill into your drawing. So I hit on that last icon with the A, and you can't see it because it's all hidden behind here. But now we have this little text. It comes in as a, I believe it's a block. Yeah. But at least you have all the text in here. You can go through, edit the text so it looks correct and such. But that's a quick way to bring everything into this drawing and have it recorded. Now this will not change though if your surfaces change, so you have to keep that in mind. It's not dynamic. That's all I really have on Earthworks. We could do a lot more what you should be looking for as far as design wise, not necessarily CAD. How do you represent it? So that's a whole nother topic of design for Earthworks. Right now, we typically only do surface-to-surface earthworks. We do not. We have forms. We have Excel sheets that help us to calculate the thickness of subbase, pavement, those kind of items to help, and trenching to help give us a little bit more accurate. But if you're looking for a quick earthworks, this is surface to surface. It will give you a really fast answer. To give you an idea if you're in the ballpark as far as balancing the site. That's all I have for today. I hope this was useful information. If you have any additional questions on the two topics, data shortcuts or Earthworks, please let me know. And we'll have our training for next month coming up. I forget exactly what the topic will be. We'll share that out there after this recording. All right, thank you. Have a great day.